Hi, my name is Energio and welcome to Louder with Energio. If this is your first time here, I want to say a very big thank you and welcome to you for tuning in, for listening, for watching today. I really do appreciate it. If this is your second or your third time or you're returning listener or a subscriber, I want to say welcome. You are the realest MVP. You keep this channel, you keep this podcast, you keep this platform going, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. No jokes, I really do appreciate it. Today, like you saw in the title, we're going to be talking about the LGBTQIA plus community, and they are not so inclusive selves. Did they hear that? Yeah. But before we get into that, I want to encourage you to like this podcast, this episode, share it. Please share it out. Share it so that it can reach more people, so that our voices cannot be silenced. Share it so that it can have a wider reach and can reach more people, because that's how we stay louder, right? Yeah. So also like it. The algorithm will pick up on that and show it to other people and recommend it. That's the word I'm going for. Recommend it to other people so that they can watch as well. So leave a comment. I really want to hear from you all. Leave a comment for me. If you have a question you would like for me to answer or a topic you'd like for me to address, leave it in the comment section and then we're going to talk about it. If you also disagree with me, leave it in the comment section. Let's talk about it. This is a place for discussion, and it's important that we have these discussions, and we don't all have to agree on the same subject. We can start from a place of disagreeing till we both agree, right? So, and then subscribe. All right, but let's get right into it. Is the LGBTQIA as inclusive as they say? Yeah, let's talk about the LGBTQIA plus community. I had to add that plus. It's important, right? So let me start by saying that this community, this particular topic we're about to talk about, or this community we're about to talk about, is the reason that this podcast started in the first place. A branch of this community is the reason that it started. That was what birthed the whole research into that birth Louder with Energy, basically. All right, that's all I'm trying to say. That's what birthed it, and we're going to go into details in coming episodes, but today I'm going to just touch the surface of it. I hope it's just the surface, because I do have things to say. So in case you don't know what the LGBTQIA community is, let me run through what it means. The L stands for lesbians, the G stands for gays, the the B stands for bisexual, T for transsexuals, Q for queer, I for intersexual, A for asexual, and then the plus for every other thing that it covers. All right, the plus is an umbrella term, just refers to, covers everything. So basically what this community stands for is that it covers people who are gender non-conforming, gender, or people who struggle with their gender identity. They say they don't feel like men or women, or they are men and they don't feel like women. Let's not go into that topic. No need for too much explanations, but they feel queer. They don't feel like what every other person that looks like them feels like. And then people who are probably confused about their sexual identity or feel differently about their sexual orientation. Let me put it that way. So that's what it covers. And like I said, the plus stands for inclusivity. They are accepting of everybody. Are they really? Yeah, and that's what we're talking about today. So if you live in the world that we live in today, you realize that as adults, nobody really cares about what any other person is doing with their sexual life or what they are doing with their lives. Let me say this is not a religious discussion. This is primarily a social discussion about our society, about the world we live in. And of course, you cannot excuse or remove religion from it or throw it away. We cannot do that, right? But this particular conversation today is a social discussion. I'm going to touch on religion here and there, but we're not going into it. That's not the discussion we're having today. So when I say that most people don't care about what you do, I say that because when the LGBTQIA community started, one of the things that they said was, it's none of your business what people do in their bedrooms. What is your concern with how people, with who someone wants to have sex with? If they've decided that they want to have sexual intercourse or sexual relations with someone of the same sex, then it's not your business. Go about, mind your business. It's none of your business what someone wants to do with their sexual life, right? That was what they said. So that's why I'm starting here. Okay, they say that it's none of your business. So I want to say that most of the world, or most people in the world, do not really care about what people do in their bedrooms. It's really nobody's business. Of course, there are countries in which you cannot marry someone of the same sex. In a lot of countries, you can't have that, and that's in the constitution. So respect that part. There are countries that it's based on their religion, and they say no, this is unacceptable here. But that's not what we are going into today. That's not what we are talking about. Even if you cannot marry them, or in the confines of your bedroom, whatever you want to do is acceptable, right? If you're an adult, okay, then yeah, not a big deal, right? And that's what I'm trying to say. Nobody really cares if you've decided that that's how you want to go on and live your life. Nobody's going to drag you and say, the majority of people are not going to do that anyways. Nobody's going to come and drag you and say, oh, you have to do it otherwise. So they started by saying that they are a very accepting people, but that has turned out to not be the case. And I started out saying that nobody cares what you do in your bedroom because, again, like I said earlier, that was what they started out by saying. To push for what they called rights, to push for their own agenda, I dare say, they started off by saying that. So they say, oh, it shouldn't be your business who someone wants to marry, who someone wants to sleep with. But right now, it's now our business. It's the business of the entire world. What do I mean when I say that? So you have to accept them, or you're a bigot. You have to accept them, or you're a terrible person. If you do not accept them or accept what they have chosen to do with their lives, then it's not okay. It's not all right. Again, if they say they are a community of acceptance, a community of inclusivity, should they not be open to people saying, oh, I don't agree with this. I respect you. I understand that that's how you want to live your life. That's what you have chosen. I do not really share the same value. I do not really agree with you on this subject that that's right. But I'm not stopping you from doing what you want to do. Right? That's how it should be. That's how it should be. But if you do not accept them, you have to accept and agree with them. It's no longer just a situation of live and let live. It's not a situation of, oh, I respect you as a human. I have value for every human life. I respect you as someone that God created. That's if they believe that they were created by God anyways. But I accept you as someone that God created and your life matters. It's no longer a discussion about that. It's no longer an issue. It's no longer that issue. It's now a situation of you must accept it, that this is how I want to live my life. I don't have to accept it. It's your life. The same way you do not have to accept that it's my life. But they've made it a situation of you must agree. We can respect each other and not agree with each other, and that's okay. And that's fine. But with this community, with the LGBTQIA plus community, it's not so. And so it started off that way. They brand themselves as, and this is not everybody, by the way, in that community. There are a lot of sane people, but the insane people are more and they are louder. There are people who want to do all of these things and live quiet lives. But the majority of them are very loud and they do not want quiet lives. They want to be loud. They want to be in your face. So it went from being, fighting for our rights to get married to whomever we want to marry, to bringing Remember, they said whatever someone does in their room does not concern you. Now it's in the street. It's no longer their bedroom. They are doing all of these things in the street. They are doing it in front of your children, putting it in your children's rhymes and cartoons and shows and movies. I thought it was just in the bedroom. And I've come to really believe through my study that was just a beginning point. When people decided to accept that, it opened up Pandora's box. It gave the avenue for them to do the things that they actually intended to do. Because you can't tell me this is just about people being able to love whomever they want to love, or people being able to marry whomever they want to marry. Because in many countries, for example, the United States of America, you're allowed to marry whomever you want to marry. So why not do that quietly? The same way that people in heterosexual relationships, a man and a woman, the same way they would get married and not put it in your face. Why can't you just do that? Why do we now have to agree that it's right? I don't have to agree with you that it's right. If you think it's right, then go ahead and do it. You're an adult, right? In an adult relationship, go ahead, do whatever you want to do. But I don't have to agree with you. And that's the problem. For example, recently, I think 2 weeks ago, there was a host on TV who came online. There was this hockey league game. There was a hockey game, and in that game they were going to all wear for their warm-ups. They were going to put on their jerseys and put on the pride flag. I think wear it somewhere on their jersey, or put it on their, I don't know what they call the stuff that they play, their hockey, the sticks. They were supposed to do that and then take it off and then auction it, right? And then one of the players said, I can't do that. It doesn't align with my faith. I am not going to put this on. And then one host on TV came and was angry and was furious and was saying they had to fine that particular team $1 million because someone decided, oh, this is not me. I do not agree with this. One player, for that matter. It wasn't like the entire team said, oh, we're not doing this. And even if the entire team said they were not doing it, it should be okay, because it's their decision. Inclusivity, right? Acceptance, right? But no, that was not the case. It was one person that said, oh, because of my faith, because of my religion, I cannot wear this. And oh, a lot of people lost it. The media, there was a frenzy in the media. They were trying to get words out of him, trying to get words out of his coach. And then this host on TV went on and on about how he should be fined, he should be sent back to Russia, he should do this, he should be... I thought you guys were inclusive. I thought you were accepting of others. People should be free to accept you if they want to accept you. People should be free to do whatever they want to do. If you're free, every other person should be free. Or are we only free when we agree with you? Are we only free when we agree with the things that you do? People can love you. People can respect you and still not agree with you, and it is okay. And if you say it's about inclusivity, why are we not accepting or allowing for people to have their religious beliefs? Why should your idea or your identity, why must it fight or have an issue with people's religion? I should be allowed to think or accept whomever I want to accept. I don't have to agree with you. We don't have to agree with you. This is very important. And I know that I have a predominantly Nigerian audience. Yeah, that's the word I'm going for. A predominantly Nigerian or African audience. Hopefully we reach a point where we're actually speaking to people. Maybe I'm actually speaking to people outside the country. It's okay. I'm glad that you're here. And this is for you, by the way. But the reason that this started is because, like I said in the very first episode, the things that seem so simple are not always simple. There's always an agenda. Their agenda is being pushed behind everything. This was how we started in the US. Now, it's no longer just about people getting married anymore. There are drag shows in children's schools, drag queens in the church. And the church has to be accepted. The parents have to be okay with drag shows, with drag queens showing up in their children's schools. There is a lot of craziness going on, all in the name of Pride Month, all in the name of LGBTQIA. Children are being told that, oh, if you don't feel like, by the way, hey God, a 10-year-old or a 3-year-old knows that can make the decision and say, oh, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, but cannot get a tattoo. That's the hypocrisy of wokeness. That's the hypocrisy of the LGBTQIA community as well. That's it. This is why I'm talking about this right now, and why every other episode has happened. Because those who do not study history are bound to repeat them. We're being told there are already people carrying placards and doing something lives matter. Gay lives matter. This lives matter in Nigeria. And nobody's saying your life does not matter. I started this by saying I respect every human life. And if you say that that's what you want to do in the privacy of your home, okay, nobody's going to come and beat you up if you're an adult. Mostly. If it's against the law of the country, it's against the law of the country. I understand that. But nobody's going to come and flog you. Right? Again, this is not a religious conversation. This is a social conversation. So this is why I'm saying all of this, right? Those who do not study history are bound to repeat them. We see where it started in the West. It was about allow people to live their lives. What people are doing in their rooms should not concern you. And honestly, nobody is concerned about what's happening in your room or in your bedroom. But the issue is that it won't stop there. It will come for your kids. And I'm not saying that it's everybody who is in this community or everybody who identifies with this community. Okay, I'm not saying that it's all of them. There are a few sane people, but there are a lot of insane people. Or do I even say that there are a few insane people, but their voices are loud? They are very loud. There's an agenda. So if you're listening to me and you're in Nigeria or you're in Africa or you're in a country that is not totally lost to the wokeness or wokeism that's going on in the world under the name of LGBTQIA+, please fight. Do not let it happen. History will repeat itself if we do not stand up and say no to these things. We're going to have issues. We're going to have serious issues. Issues that are going to affect your children. So right now is the time to fight. Right now is the time to open your mouth and scream and be very loud about the truth. Again, I'm not saying go and fight people or be against people who identify differently than you do. Respect people. But we really do not have to accept your lifestyle. We really do not have to say, oh, we agree with your lifestyle. Can love you, care for you, treat you like a human being, but we do not have to. Again, you can love them, care for them, respect them, and still not agree, and stand your ground and say, oh, that's you. You are the minority. Stay where you are. If the majority of us do not agree with this. If you want to do that, if that's the lifestyle you want to live, live it, but it's not okay to bring it to our screens. And you can agree. You can agree with people who agree with you on the same subject. You can stand your ground. Do not give in to the lie. Nothing that seems so simple is ever so simple. The LGBTQIA+ community is not an accepting community, is not an inclusive community. Even amongst themselves, people who do not agree with or going out and transing children, which is something that we'll talk about in coming episodes. People who do not agree are also bigots. People who or lesbians who say, okay, you don't have to force this message down the throats of other people, are terrible people, even though they are part of the community. So it tells you that the idea, just like we said in the previous episode with feminism, where it started from is not where it has gotten to. What people, possibly the people who started it had in mind is not what it is now. I believe that everybody should be respected because every life, every human life is created by God. I believe that. I can respect you and not accept your way of life. Let that be your mantra. Because guess what? It's going to get to a point where it's going to be shoved down your throat and you will have to accept it. And if you accept one, you accept today, you accept tomorrow, you'll be forced to accept another day. Sometimes at the expense of your values and your religions and your religion and the things that you hold dear. So fight for your religion, fight for your value. If you do not believe it, then fight, push back. It's very okay to do that. Respect people, but if you do not agree with them, it's also okay. Push back and let them know, I do not agree with you, and we can all agree to disagree and say we do not agree on this matter, and it's okay to leave it there. But do not accept what you do not want. Do not accept something that can become something else, that can be blown out of proportion or forced down your throat tomorrow. If you agree on this one, if you agree, you'll agree on something else. I want to assure you about that. I hope that you understand everything that I've said on this podcast. I do not hate. I am not homophobic. I do not hate anybody. I do respect everybody, but I do not agree on certain lifestyles. I don't hold those values. I do not believe in them. And there are many people like you and I who do not agree, and it's okay to stand up and say we do not agree. Okay? Until the next episode, this is Louder with Energio.